Guys, welcome back to another Jungles Travels daily vlog number 20. You can see where I'm at, Thwaite Watermill. If you was with me yesterday, I left you here. I'm back. Anyway, so I've got my mask, paid the entry fee, so we're going to go for a walk around the mill. One-way system in place. It looks really interesting, so join me. Let's have a look through a bit of industrial heritage. Beautiful old watermill on the River Aiyre. Right, we're here, we're in. I've got camera charge. Yes, because the nice people in there have just let me charge my camera. Really nice people on reception actually. Thank you very much. So if you look at the picture I've just put up, so there's been a mill on the site here since 1650s. But this is not this mill. This was built 1820. The original mill was destroyed, demolished, because it was run into disrepair. So we've got the Victorian Kitchen and Scullery. And there's a Victorian kitchen for you. Beautiful, isn't it? Nice Victorian range. Do you know what I would love? I'd love to have a farmhouse with a nice big cast iron range. Look at the boat there. And here we have a nice living room. Beautiful. I like it how they've put the masking tape on the windows, like they did in the war. Unfortunately, we can't go upstairs, that's staff only. So if you want to see what's upstairs, you have to get a job here. This was the mill manager's office, and he made all the decisions. Sack 'em, hire 'em, pay 'em less, pay 'em more. Got the old, a lot of war memorabilia here for some reason, gas mask, stuff like that. Beautiful. So yeah, this was actually run by one company from about 1870 until about 1970, when the dam burst its banks. The weir that they actually created, actually burst its banks and the wheels stopped turning, which obviously gave it power. So they then saw it as a good idea to shut the company down. So what they did then, they shut it down, but then a historical society was formed to look after it, and they actually got permission to rebuild the weir in steel and concrete so it wouldn't break its banks anymore, and the watermill started turning again. But it's beautiful, isn't it? So this was the mill owner's house. So when they built it, they built the mill. This is back in 1820, they built the mill, stables, 2 water wheels, and the mill owner's house. I love this kind of brickwork as well. That's my favourite kind of brickwork, that. All that multicoloured, and yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Imagine what it would have been like being the mill owner here. Looking out onto your little empire every morning. So they used to crush ceramics and lime and stuff like that for the potteries, and then lime for the toothpaste and stuff. Very interesting. And check out that. Let's go and have a look at that. So it tells you there that the wharfage was once the most important part of Thwaites mills, and it used to bring flint and china stone and lime, all for being crushed at the mill. Swing bridge hut. So you used to have a swing bridge for swinging out. The canal boys again. Check this out. Check out the big crane. Standard weight load, 3 tonne. Not actually a lot really, is it? 3 tonne. When you think of the sheer size of it, you can imagine 30 tonne, but 3 tonne's not actually a lot. And apparently they were very big on recycling here. So he yeah, apparently they're very big on recycling. And like old barge timbers were reintegrated. Everything was quite self-sufficient. Oil cans made into ducting and stuff like that. Really, really interesting. Hopefully we'll see some of that when we're walking around. So in there we've got the whiting pits. We're going to have a look in there in a minute. This is the warehouse. Let's go and have a look in the warehouse. So we've got flues. Stone drying. They're all wheelbarrows. Eh? But they've done some graft, haven't they? From the early 1900s. A big old water wheel there, right? Tiny little spiral staircase. Shame we can't go up it. Got a mangle there. I actually remember my mum. One of the first washing machines I remember. I was probably about 6 or 7. My mum had a washing machine, like a top loader with a mangle on it. I always remember that washing machine. Don't know why. So it was the Horn family. They were here from 1872 to 1977. And when they took over the mill in 1872, they only took it over for £100 a year, which was quite a small sum. Bearing in mind it sits on a 9-acre island, does this mill. Yeah, they took it over. And look how disrespect it is, huh? Wow. Yeah, they took the mill over, but apparently they invested a lot back into it. So there was the mill workers' cottages, Dandy Row, built in 1826, demolished in 1968. Do you know, the 60s? I hate the 60s. Purely because they destroyed so much heritage in the 60s. Honestly, you look at the pictures of all the old buildings, a majority of them were destroyed in the 60s. They just seem to go through this phase of building crap out of concrete and destroying all our heritage because it was cheaper than repairing it. Yeah, not a big fan of the 60s. Good music though, bad ethics. Right, let's go into the whiting pits. So actually, just on a side note, it says it was the warehouse and drying sheds. With them being flues, I can only imagine there must have been some underfloor kind of fire going on, or heating. For letting the heat in to dry the thing out. There's your pond. So you'd have gone down the steps into it, wouldn't you? Got a nice big stone arch there. Proper job. Look at these. Look at these old boys. Big stone. These must have been the milling stones. You can see like the grooves in it for grinding. Years of graft that they've done. Now they're just garden ornaments. Into the whiting pits. Oh, look at that old boy over there, eh? Beautiful. Nice big water wheel. Awesome. Yeah, you can imagine hot water coming down there, couldn't you? I bet it was a filthy job though, wasn't it? The levigation pits were used to grade ground chalk. Finely ground material would float through the furthest pits, and heavy material would sink to the bottom of the first pit. fine grade will be taken to the attic where they will be air dried. So they must have gone upstairs. So they basically just poured chalk through and filtered it. Awesome. Shame you can't walk down there, isn't it? Looks like we have to walk around the other side to get another look at the big water wheel. Let's go and have a look. Look at that big shaft there for turning and everything. See, I love all this kind of stuff. Bit of industrial heritage. Beautiful, isn't it? Let's go around the other side. Check out these, man. The heart of the mill. The beating heart. Look at that. You think how much power that's produced over the years. Big cast iron arms on it. When you think of all the graft and the sheer energy that must have gone into making it to start with. That's another industry on its own, isn't it? Big cast iron furnaces that have had to cast things like that. Probably made up in the northeast, up in Newcastle, around that way. That's where a lot of furnaces were, isn't it? Look at that. Almost all machinery driven by 2 water wheels. Network of line shafts, gear wheels, pulleys and belts, all connected to carry the power of the water wheels to every corner of the 3-storey building. Look at that big old leather belt. Beautiful. A shoe made out of lime. So these are all your gearings. There's all your belts. And there's the other water wheel. Oh, this is fantastic, this. So this must have been like the grinding stones. Look at them. All your stone must have come down here and just ground all the rocks in here. Shame the wheels aren't turning. It'd be nice to see the gears in motion. Maybe it timbers replacing or something. Can't you tell how long it's been since they've been turned? Look at all the oh, look at that down there. You see all that water coming through. Yeah, you got little bits of lithium growing on the wood because it's been that long since they were turned. If these were still in use, that wouldn't have grown like that. Awesome. Couple of steel bands there. You can tell I love all this, can't you? This is my kind of thing, this. And now you know why I thought of doing it as a separate vlog on its own. Because it just, you can't put all this into 2 vlogs, can you? What's your head? Now you can imagine, this probably wouldn't have been here. Because it's a bit of old tongue and groove. This probably wouldn't have been here in the days when the mill was actually running properly. It'd have literally just been this. Sort of spinning round as you're walking under it. I do, I love all this, mate. There's your buckets of rock. Well, I think the wheels might be turning still, but I don't think the drive gears will be working much. Looks like they've not turned in quite a while. All rusted up, all the belts off. It's a shame, is that? To be honest, there's probably not a lot of people who know actually how to work it anymore. So this is the putty packing room. Try saying that when you've had a few. Putty packing. Linseed oil putty. I bet that was a filthy job, wasn't it? Packing putty. What do you do for a living? I'm a putty patter. I'm a putty packer. See, you can't say it. T. Horn, master of super putty. I spent all day putty packing. Once the putty has been mixed above, it will be dropped onto a hole in the ceiling onto a cart. From there it will be spooned into the putty containers by hand. Only 1 or 2 men could work in this room due to its size. So that must be the putty cart. So it's probably dropped through the hole somewhere, and then spooned into the containers by hand by the putty packers. Yeah, there's a screw. So that must thread the putty or shovel it along, sort of. I bet that wasn't here in 1870. An elevator. Let's go upstairs and have a look. So, this looks like it might have been the putty room. Check all this out. Turning stuff. Putty. There we go. There's your putty wheels. Looks like them two are in action still, doesn't it? When the wheel's turning. Woman downstairs has just told me the wheel's not turning because there's not enough water. Due to either high silt or low volume of water, the wheels stopped turning. So maybe they dropped the putty down there. Maybe that was the shaft. Maybe they dropped the putty down to the putty packers. Can't stop saying that now, putty packers. Up in the attic. Okay, below, putty coming down. Yeah, it's beautiful though, isn't it? It's a wealth of history here, isn't it? It's like there's a model of the machine there. Or a modern machine. You think all the graft that would have been done in this mill. Chalk bagging. Look at colour bin. It's just like, it's covered in dust, isn't it? Oh, it's nice and warm in here. Somebody's put the heating on. Right, what we got in here? Nice big array of industrial machinery bits. Beautiful. Thwaite mills. Look at that. That's an impressive water wheel, isn't it? Isle of Man. I'll have to go and check that out one day. It's like a history of water wheel. Oh, it is. It's the history of the water wheel. I surprise myself sometimes. The power behind the Industrial Revolution. End of production, 1976. The weir collapsed during a very high flood and Thwaite Mills as a water-powered mill died. Mad. There's a nice model of the mill. So they produced putty, linseed oil, quick-setting putty and rubber-based putty from 1923 to 1976. Up until then they were crushing china rock for potteries and stuff like that. Whiting produced and to make more process efficient, where the mill was installed. Beautiful, isn't it? Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Look at that. It's a nice detailed little model, that, isn't it? So, from 1872 to 1915, it was a china stone process. And then 1916 to 33, Barrett's grinding. So, this is the point where you pause the video if you want to read the boards. I'll just run over them slowly for you. Feel free to pause on the footage at any time. Have a read. There you go. Lovely. Awesome. Marshall engine. That's a big old boy, isn't it? Can't stop saying that now, I've gone all fucking guy Martin. Look at these little old models that they've got going. There's another one there, isn't there? There's some model water wheels. So I think generally there's a lot of schools come here for education, because it is very educational. But at the moment schools aren't allowed to come. So the mill's actually shut during the weeks. During the week. Not weeks, during the week. Not sure what's going on. Hello. There you go.
That should be on there. Actually, the exit that way, not this way.
Yeah, I was a bit confused.
Yeah, normally people do wonder whichever way they want to go.
Yeah.
But because of COVID, we've had to do a one-way system.
Yeah.
So it's that way we're going.
Yeah, because I came in that way by accident.
Oh, right. You come wrong way around, never mind.
Never mind. Nothing unusual there for me. Yeah, so normally during the week, schools come and educate the children. But at the moment they can't because of COVID. So during the week it's actually shut and it's just open at the weekends.
Hi then, what's that doing? Got that putty down to putty packers. Sharpish lad, sharpish. I'll be knocking the shilling off the wages. You're eating your only on sixpence. Get out of it, lad.
Bloody apprentices these days. Don't know the bone. 6 a week. So this is an impact granulator. So you've got kilns there which would dry the rocks out. So they put the rocks in here to be crushed into smaller pieces, then they'd be fed up into the top to be crushed even smaller and dried out. Because they found out the chalk was too moist and the lumps were too big, so they installed all this big old thing. There's your lumps of chalk from the quarries, and then it turns into little bits of chalk. Beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. Awesome. It's been a long time since that chain moved, hasn't it? Look at that. See, that would have been shiny and smooth if this was still in use, wouldn't it? It's been that long. What a shame. This all needs to be working again, doesn't it? If you want to educate the kids properly, get the thing working again. But it takes a lot, doesn't it? Beautiful, isn't it? Flammable liquid, no smoking. What have we got across here? So this looks like some kind of garden thing. What's that, sir? rubber plant. What's a rubber plant? Dig for victory. Your victory garden. I think that was during the war when they had to do all that, wasn't it? The rubber plant was built by the Horn family and used to mix rubber together and linseed oil to make a rubber-based putty. The rubber had to be melted and then mixed with linseed oil. The resulting smell was so unbearable that the plant was situated away from the main building. This also reduced the risk of fire spreading in the event of an outbreak. So basically, if you worked here, you got the smelly job. Look at that. Awesome. So this is the rubber plant. Nice. So apparently the inner tubes of car tyres was used to melt rubber. There's rubber to melt. And sometimes you can see birds pecking at the windowsills to pick out the linseed oil out of the putty. I don't know why. It was just a fact file that was on there. And we've got something across here which looks like some kind of naturey kind of place. So this is a Wigloo and Mini Beast hotels. I think this is more inclined at the children when the schools come. There's a bit of a nature trail thing for them as well. I don't think somehow that the Holt family built nature trails and mini hotels for beasts. Who knows? Not sure what this building would have been. Perhaps something to do with the rubber, or maybe the stables. I don't know. It's a beautiful sight though, for sure. So these are apparently drying kilns and storage arks. Let's go in and have a look. Let's see what's in here. Oh, this is a workshop, isn't it? By the look of it. This is where all the mill was repaired. Awesome. You think all the work these tools have done over the years, and now they're just sat there, scattered about on the benches. You see them all like this. You can actually smell the linseed in here as well. Old vintage radio on the shelf. Look at that. What can I say to that bench? I bet the last person who worked that bench would be gutted to see it like that now. Why have they not put them tools away? Look at them. Bloody heathens. He probably had everything in its place, didn't he? All the racks were probably neatly done. Because it was a livelihood, wasn't it? They had to find out, they had to know where everything was. And now, look at them. Never to be used again. Or maybe not, you never know. You never know, do you? Just imagine if all electricity went overnight. Just say all the power stations just stopped working or whatever. We'd be thrust back into the Industrial Revolution again. We'd have to learn how to work things mechanically. All these skills that we're losing would have to be relearned. Would it be a bad thing? All your phones would stop working. Cameras, YouTube would be gone. We'd be thrust back into the dark ages. And a lot of us wouldn't be able to handle it. I would. I'd be able to handle it. I wouldn't miss it. But there's a lot of people out there who would. Anyway, I'm waffling again. Let's go and have a carry on walking around. I love the smell in here. You can't smell it, but it's like that. Grease and linseed and putty. It's the grease on the machines, that's what it is I can smell. That just reminds me of when I worked in the mill. You can smell it, that oil, that linseed oil. Actually, that's what it is. Because when I worked in the mill, it was woolen, and a lot of the oils were linseed oils. So that's what I can smell, linseed oil. Beautiful. Anyway, we're getting all nostalgic. Let's crack on. I'm being sneaky now. There's a barrel there, and I think they put it there to stop people coming in here. I'm just having a quick snoop. I just want to look at all the machines. See, there's that Marshall engine. There's all your engines. Awesome. Beautiful. No access. See, I'd love to be up there, but never mind. Right, let's get back in the part where we should be. See, can't do your tour and not show you everything, can we? Feel like a schoolboy breaking the rules. Sometimes you gotta do that, don't you? Well, you don't, but you know what I mean. You can slap me on the wrist. What a shame the wheels aren't working. Gutted. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. See, that guy told me I'd come the wrong way, but he didn't tell me how to get up there to start with. I don't actually know how I missed it. Must be an entrance I've missed. Somewhere. Ah, it's in there. Right. So, I missed it. Oh, sugar. This is the way I should have come in. I'm actually glad I did. Because I would have missed an international harvester. Look at that, maximum speed, 2 miles an hour. 2.75 tons. The International Harvester. Made in Chicago. Look at that old boy. Wow. Beautiful, isn't it? Imagine sitting on that all day. You'd have had a numb arse off that, wouldn't you? Wow. I like that. It's nice. Right. Better put my mask back on. So we've already been up here, haven't we? Because this is the way I should have come in. And here we are again. In the power in the process exit. Looks like that was an original advertisement. Paris White and Whiting manufacturer and flint grinder, Thwaite Mills of Leeds. Beautiful. Incidentally, if you do want to visit, there's the postcode for you. Assuming it's not changed. I don't think it has. Anyway, let's crack on and we'll see what else we can see in this wonderful place. We'll go back through the putty packer's room. Look at all them studs on that wheel there. Awesome. Amazing. Them floorboards are looking a bit thin though, aren't they? Ah. Gorgeous. Right. I'm not sure what else there is to see around here actually. Let's see what else we can end up. See if we can find anything else that's hidden. So there's an interesting fact. A lot of the old boatmen were called out of retirement during World War II because all the other boatmen were called off to the war. And they weren't familiar with the motorised keels, so one spent a week at Thwaite trying to restart his boat after it stalled. Yeah. Why did nobody help him? Oh, look at this. The Horn brothers had a monthly order for a ton of chalk whiting from Wakefield Gale, or Jail as it is. It was for the bakehouse. Apparently chalk made the bread dough heavier so it would fill the prisoners up quicker. It was quite common to adulterate food like this and people would have to take care to make sure what they brought was pure. One test was to put some of your flour in water. If it foamed, it had been filled out with chalk. No way. So to fill the prisoners up, they stuffed them with chalk. Good God, man. Unbelievable. Look at the state of that, man. That must have been the state of disrepair that the mill was in before the Preservation Society got their hands on it. Right guys, I'm going to leave it here and say thank you for watching. I hope you've really enjoyed this mill, because I have. I think it's actually a really stunning place to visit, and I suggest anybody comes and checks it out. If you're into all your industrial heritage and you want to see something old and industrial, go and check it out. Thwaites Mill in Leeds. Incidentally, Leeds is about 3.5 miles in that direction. It wasn't the other direction that I said it was. It was this way. Because I passed a marker saying 4 miles to Leeds. Obviously I'd already walked a mile. So now, I'm going to walk back to the car, to the van, aren't I? But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you've all enjoyed it. My little jolly round Thwaites Mill. And if you get the chance, go and pay it a visit. It's absolutely stunning, beautiful place. Well worth checking out. Thwaites Mill in Leeds. Right. I'm going to head back to the van now. Adios skis. See you later. Really, I'm going now. As ever, I just thought I'd show you something else. The weir. If you hadn't reconstructed that, then wheels wouldn't turn. That shows you the power of the river. Awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. From Thwaites Mill, I bid ye farewell. Adios, kids.